Hola, how's everyone doing? Um, we're just checking in, and as we do every week, but this week is a little bit different. We just wanted to ask how everyone's feeling, how's everyone doing? It is a very difficult week for a lot of people in very specific ways. So we're here to just pretend that everything is okay. My name is Julio, and welcome to the Roofless Dog and Pony Show. We think that this is episode number 20. We have to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Thanks for tuning in, and for those of you, hi everyone, for those of you who are joining for the first time or watching this for the first time, the Roofless Dog and Pony Show is a weekly live presentation featuring the conceptual and stylistic inspiration behind the painting webinars that we host every single week since March 2020. What we do, we introduce the theme of the webinar, we talk about it, we explain the reasons why we selected that theme. We also introduce examples, visual examples of the subject. So we try to talk about the conceptual aspects and the stylistic aspects, and we do that because it serves us as introduction to the painting webinar. So when we are ready to paint, we can take advantage of every single second and minute that we have. So this week we are going to do something a little bit different. It wasn't really easy to find a subject that felt connected with our feelings and emotions, and we didn't want to do anything that felt too out of touch. And so let me see if I can bring an image. So we retrieved an article that we read a few months ago at Quartz. I think it's like a news website. It was written by Sarah Todd, and the title of the article is "When You Don't Know What to Do, Make Tea." We saved it because the author brought up a few studies regarding the ritual and the habit of drinking a hot drink during times of uncertainty, not only when we're sick, but also when we are stressed, when we are bored. And we think that this is the perfect subject to do for this week, for today and tomorrow, who knows. The stakes are so high, there's so much uncertainty. That uncertainty is causing so much anxiety that we think painting a still life in itself is calming and meditative and allows us to reflect on things. But a still life of a cup with a hot liquid could be even more balming. So I'm just gonna read a few quotes, and then by the way, this absolutely amazing painting is by a French artist that I think we think he should be more known. His name is Henri Fantin Latour. And the painting of the cup was done in 1864. He was a French artist who was famous for painting photographic. They're not even hyper realistic. The paintings of his flower still lives are just ridiculous. They're just ridiculous. There's no artist that we know of that painted such incredible hyperrealism. And he fell through the cracks because he was considered very commercial. But we found this exquisite, sophisticated, really calming painting of a single white cup with a saucer, and I think that's the name of the White Cup and a Saucer, 1864, by Henri Fantine Latour. So there are some paintings of people drinking hot beverage, but we want to focus on the actual object. The article by Sarah Todd explains or talks about how people prepare tea when they are sick, when they are nervous, and also when they are bored. He brings up a novel titled Conversations with Friends by Irish writer Sally Rooney. And in the novel, apparently everyone is doing or preparing or drinking tea, preparing tea at all times. When they're watching TV, when they're flirting, when they're writing an email, when they're pondering about illicit affairs. And it just seems like throughout the entire novel, all characters are in the midst of either making a cup of tea or drinking a cup of tea. So we found that very interesting. I'm going to show you another painting, and this was done by a contemporary artist. Let me see if I can find the name. Painted in 2012, and we love switching back from the 19th century to the 21st century. Alexander Roybert. The painting is titled Pathetic Still Life. Just that, pathetic still life. Just 2 cups, 1 plate, and then some fabric underneath. Again, focused on the object, and it doesn't describe it if it's tea or coffee. It could be any hot beverage. I'm gonna switch back to the article. Sarah talks about or refers to the kindness of the tea making act, and that's another reason why we want to concentrate on the still life. When you make some tea, you make it for yourself sometimes, but when you make it for others, it just helps brighten everyone's day. It's nice when someone makes a hot beverage and prepares it for you. There's something that brings people together, that brings individuals together in the act of making a cup of tea or a hot beverage. And we think that conceptually this is something that could be quite timely considering the time or the week that we're living in. I'm just going to bring a Mary Cassatt painting, 1923, Lady at the Tea Table. So that's with a person inside, or with a person in the painting, but still the still life, it's quite exquisite and with different components, and we love the idea also of a still life and a portrait together. Going back to the article by Sarah Todd, she brings up research suggesting that making tea has true social benefits. A 2008 study by Yale psychologists found that participants who had recently held a cup of hot coffee were more likely to think of others as generous and caring compared to participants who had held a cup of iced coffee. The researchers suggest that our association between physical and emotional warmth may go back to early childhood, when we stayed close to caregivers, and the essential relationship between a young child's comfort and safety connected with the warmth of someone else's body heat, and the warm feelings towards others. So we love the connection between the physicality of warmth with the that emotional warmth that creates that physicality. So another reason why we're just gonna do this, we wanna have warm and fuzzy feelings, and I think doing a painting of a still life of a cup of with a hot liquid, we hope can arouse warm and fuzzy feelings. We'll let you know after we finish the session. Going back to another painting, Giorgio Morandi, of course. Morandi, this one it's titled Natura Morta, 1962. Very typical Giorgio Morandi, nude, monochromatic, I would say, analogous colors. And in this painting, there are only two objects. The teapot, which is a very sexy object, and then it seems like there is a cup in front of it. So composition, selection of more than one object, that it's not a teacup or a saucer, could be also it could be also a good combination of objects. So going back to the article, the author references Kristen Surak, a professor of Japanese politics and author of Making Tea, Making Japan. And in an interview in NPR, she talks about the fact that at the heart of the Japanese tea ceremony is the idea that, quote, if everybody sat around and had a bowl of tea, we could create world peace, end quote. So another layer, conceptual layer that we thought we could bring to the painting of a teacup that connects with what we're going through this week. I'm going to bring another painting, and I think this one, it's by an Italian futurist artist, Mario Cironi, Still Life with Blue Cup 1919. We love the style of the painting, the fact that there's an arrangement of several objects, a very strong light creating high contrast. Another example, or a different style of doing a painting of a cup holding a hot beverage. Another reference in the article, this is by a social worker named Melody Wilding, who wrote that whenever we're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, we should always stop to ask ourselves if we are hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, which is pretty much what we've been feeling the past few days. Any of those feelings are likely to fuel poor judgment, which means that it's time to stop what we're doing, take a break, and either eat a sandwich or do some journaling, or call a friend, or take a nap, or maybe just make some tea, do a cup of tea. I'll bring another image by a different Italian artist, Felice Casorati. This one is titled Cups, and also 1919. Very simple composition and application of color. There's no fabric, there's no spatial context, there's no edge of the table, there are no visual fields, so it's pretty straightforward. But we love the fact that one cup is by itself and the other four are in front of each other, so it creates a sense of perspective. Great arrangement, no liquid, so I guess if you don't want to put any tea inside of the cup, that's also fine. I'm just gonna bring another one. This one is by Dale Hickey, a pop-up artist. The painting is from 1973. It's just titled Cup Painting. Very interesting composition in the sense that it doesn't crowd the space, square format, everything's balanced, the cup, the edge of the table, highly monochromatic. There's no dramatic lighting, but the simplicity creates also a sense of stillness and an invitation to reflect. So a different way of approaching the still life before you create it. You create it. That's what I wanted to say. And then this is a painting by Zurbarán, Spanish painter from the 17th century, I think so. 17th century. This was painted in 1630. There's not a hot beverage inside. It's water. The painting is titled "Cup of Water and a Rose," but we thought the composition was appropriate to incorporate the painting with the rest of the examples, the visual examples. We like the idea of incorporating flower, a botanical element, a very dramatic light in the style of those old master paintings, very dark and a very soft light, creating a very quiet scene. So again, tomorrow, Friday, the title will be A Cup of Tea. We're gonna get together collectively and create a painting of a still life. We recommend painting this from life, but we'll also add a few image references in the shared folder if you prefer. There's something very special about painting from life, and the paintings look a little bit different, and also you have the ability or the fact that you can arrange, select objects that you connect with, combine objects. There's painting from life always creates much interesting experience. So thank you, everyone. Sign up online. The registration link is already on the calendar. We're going to send an email to our subscribers with a direct link as well. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, please do so. We're very excited for this subject matter. We hope you join us tomorrow. Any level welcome. We do this remotely. You don't have to have all the materials, but we like the synchronicity of creating together. When we do it, it creates better paintings, and we use the time in a more productive way. We provide a shared folder that allows us to gather virtually, so we can upload our work in progress, and then we give you feedback, ideas for touch-ups. We reconvene on Tuesday in Roofless in Colloquium sessions with a tutorial and another opportunity to give feedback. So that's a bonus session if you register tomorrow that you'll have. So it's only $20, and we think it's a great deal. And thanks everyone who joined. I'm gonna make a cup of tea right now, and love your comments. Thank you. You will find this online. What am I talking about? You'll find this on our Instagram and also on our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of these episodes and some other stuff. And go make yourselves a cup of tea. Everything will be okay. Bye, everyone.